I can presume that there are likely three populations who would join us. First of all, folks who have been abused. And this class is intended to, in some ways, help you plot the course that you have been on. You could be beginning this journey. You could have been on this journey for a very significant period of time. But we want to help you get a sense of where you are, what needs to be engaged for you to be able to continue to grow. Anyone who's been abused and who's in the process of engaging their past knows only too well this journey really never ends. But it also opens the possibility of being able to see redemptive moments in which great change has a potential to occur. We want to help you think through what that journey looks like, what's required for you to continue to grow in that process, and where you are. I think a second population is folks who have someone in their life who has been abused, a spouse, a child, a friend, who wish to come alongside to be able to support and engage for greater good. And those folks need, more data, more understanding, because there's a lot of confusion. When you have a sense that you are very engaging and kind to the person who's been abused and the relationship seems to go astray. When you tend to be less kind, the relationship seems to be better. How is that possible? Why would that be the case? So much confusion. And the more that you wish to engage for good, the more it's going to require of you to be able to step in to a deeper understanding of the harm of abuse and the effects that play out, not only in terms of how our bodies experience abuse, how our relationships, how our sense of self is formed in the context of that level of harm. And then there's a third group, and that is folks who have a professional interest. In other words, you work with individuals who've been abused, you work in small groups, you work in a local church, you're a therapist, social worker, teacher, somebody directly involved professionally with people who've been abused. And it is so very delightful to have you here. But one of the things that we want you to hear is that 65% of people who are in the helping profession have a history of their own past abuse. So it is imperative that as you think through the implications of working with your clients, with folks in your classroom, that you also think through the implications of your own life. It's just not enough to say to folks that it's not their fault. And we need to be far more engaged than simply being empathic and saying, I'm so sorry that you suffered in this way. And so we've got to have categories to know how to ask questions, to know what to pursue. As we're talking to an individual, there could be hundreds of routes that we could follow, but really only a few will take us to the most significant matters that most people want to address, but also are reluctant and in some ways afraid to address. So we need, whether we have a history of abuse, someone in our world who has been abused, and or professionally, we need to be willing to do the one thing that we ask of everyone through all our training processes, and that is you cannot take any human being any further than you have chosen to go yourself. And so we're inviting you, even as you think about the lives of others that you care about, to also have a heart to look and think about your own life and your own past and the effect that it may be having on your present.